The Woodfalls brass band from Wiltshire arriving for a lunchtime concert at the local. Their unconventional transport raises a few eyebrows at some of the smarter venues.
We've done the 1812 overture with the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, which is a great thrill to all of us. You see the orchestra turn up in their tails and their rolls of voices, and we turn up with our horse box.
Woodfalls, population just 1,200, has the best brass band in the south. 22 times champions of Wessex and winners of several national trophies. Mind you, playing at the pub would have been frowned upon by the founding fathers of Woodfalls. The band was formed in the Methodist Chapel as the South of England Temperance Band. A mile down the road, the village of Downton also has a brass band, and the rivalry between the two is intense. Downton is bigger, prettier and famous. Sir Walter Raleigh, Lord Nelson and George IV all lived in the village. In days gone by, the Downton band were in no way competitive, playing only in the community and strictly for fun, leaving the trophy hunting to their neighbours.
Woodfalls band was, they were started first, but they were a temperance lot, you see, whereas the Downton chaps was all a very boozy lot. And when they, years and years ago, they used to play down through the village, and of course there was 5 pubs in the village, and all the landlords gave them a pint of beer. And I heard my dad say by the time they got to the White Horse, which was the 4th pub, they couldn't recognise the notes, you know, so they had to play by ear.
But the Downton band of the 1990s is changing its image. They too are becoming seriously competitive. This year, for the first time, both the Downton and Woodfalls bands have qualified for the big blow, the prestigious West of England Championships. The history of brass bands is rooted in the north, with names like Blackdyke and Grimethorpe. When it started in the early 19th century, it was totally northern and working class. But today, there are nearly 2,000 brass bands spread right across the country. The tradition at Woodfalls goes back to 1874. The band was founded by John Green, and there have been Greens ever since. Great-grandson Keith Green has been in the band for 30 years, and now his 11-year-old daughter Kelly is following the family tradition.
I think, in a couple of words, it's my life. That's all there is to it. I love the music, I love the friendship, I love the, you know, the competition, I love everything about it, you know. It's just, I'm quite proud. I don't believe I've missed a single engagement since 1977. And that was the day after my father had died. And he would have been very, very, very annoyed if he'd known that I'd missed a band engagement for him, you know. And I'm quite proud of that.
Has it cost you?
Yeah. A couple of marriages, I think, probably. You know, not only that, but that's been a big chunk towards it, you know. Both my wives have been understanding to a certain degree, but when it comes down, like, occasionally we've had to maybe rehearse 4 or 5 nights on the trot, you know, when there should have been maybe things that I should have been, other things I should have been involved in, family things where I said, no, I'll have to rehearse when that's that, you know.
These Wiltshire youngsters are not only keen, they're really good. Just listen.
There's some lovely memories. Somewhere in our archives there is a tape of the junior band, as we were then in 1959, rehearsing.
Yes. Yes. What of it, Dad?
Tradition runs deep in the brass band world. Even at Woodfalls, there's only one woman in the band, Trish Chislett, the principal horn player.
I started playing just before I was 6. My mother had to go down to the local band and nag the bandmaster to let me join because he thought I was too young. But 27 years later, and I'm still playing. I have a young family. There's lots of times you end up having to take the children with you. You have to put off things like parties and weddings and things to go to contests, and that can cause tremendous stress on a marriage. But the rewards are great.
The contest is now only days away, and just down the road, the Downton Band too is using every opportunity to rehearse. The Moot, an Anglo-Saxon amphitheatre, is the ideal setting for a concert. Downton's new conductor, Ian Lowes, is a professional musician.
I came to brass banding quite late. I came from the orchestral musical world, the classical world, and I expected the brass bands to be a stereotype, but I found quite the opposite. I've found people from all walks of life, doctors of psychology, accountants, bricklayers, plumbers, teachers. The whole of life, really, seems to be interested in brass banding.
Although the band was formed a century ago, it's only recently that Downton have become competitive. Having achieved higher standards, there now burns the ambition to beat Woodfalls.
I've been with this band for over a year, and one of the things that was put to me at first was that there is such a rivalry that they want to beat Woodfalls.
That is more important than winning.
That is winning.
The band now is 10 times, perhaps even more than that, better than ever we were. But they're not really part of the village as such, not in a way. I mean, we played at all the church fetes, chapel fetes, the local gymkhana, took part in tug of war and that. And I heard them say that the band went to Amesbury once, and they came back with 3 cups. But not one of them was for playing. One was for the best dressed band, one was for the best on the march, and one was for winning the tug of war. They once had a very posh set of uniform with all the gold bars all across. And one of the local wits, he was heard to remark after they'd been playing, well, it's a pretty plumage, but they can't whistle.
The local input is fairly small in terms of membership, inevitably, because as soon as your standard gets higher, you're looking for a level of playing which couldn't be obtained by a small community.
As soon as they can get a new bandsman from outside, they bring him in, and it doesn't matter about who was playing before. If he's a bit better, he takes the place. And this does lead to a bit of ill feeling now and then, I think.
No split notes and those triplets, if you listen to the horn, it goes in with that.
Woodfalls have always been a fiercely competitive band. Contesting and adding to their already full trophy cupboard is at the top of their agenda. The Woodfalls conductor, Peter Wise, is an army musician by background, and he's in bullish mood for the final rehearsal before Saturday's championship. The test piece, Eric Ball's tone poem Journey into Freedom, is quite a challenge.
My job is to conduct this band and to rehearse it, and to train it, to win. Winning it, or coming second, is the key that unlocks the door to the national finals at the Albert Hall. And of course, this brings us into competition with all the bands from Wales, England and Scotland. So this is the springboard to winning the national championship.
OK.
I personally enjoy contesting, and it brings the best out in bandsmen. I mean, people have gone along to contest with their arm in plaster after accidents. They try their best to be there so that they don't let the rest down. That's a great team effort.
The band has been rehearsing intensively for 6 weeks, 4 hours at a time during the last few days. All this on top of full-time jobs.
We store and distribute mountains of animal feedstuffs throughout the south of England. Very dusty, dirty old job. In fact, at the end of the day, I think the two things I look forward to is having a shower and blowing the trombone.
For 2 hours, you just completely switch off. You're in another world. It's like a lot of things. You've got to have a hobby outside of your work. They're both married together. But it's like a happy family to me, or a happy marriage.
Fairly dangerous job, a noisy job, and at the end of the day, all I want to do is just get home and get in the band and just relax, you know, and I find that the band is the greatest relaxer, you know, you could possibly have.
I think it's the best band we've presented for Bristol in recent years, don't you? Very few weaknesses. Maybe a 5% chance of improvement.
On the eve of the contest, the Woodfalls band has its last team talk.
The only thing I know is that every day when we go to work, we got to go in through Downton. And I won't go that way if they beat us. I shan't go through Downton on my way to work. I should travel 50 miles the other way. I think I can tolerate all the others beating us, but I think for Downton to beat us would be the hardest thing to take.
When we're competing against brands like Sun Life, with enormous sponsorship checks, and we go out playing carols at Christmas trying to raise money to finance the band, we have to make do with second-hand instruments and rely on Tony to deliver our percussion in the horse box. You know, that's the kind of battle which we've got to do year in, year out to survive.